From the expression, you can already tell that is not balanced at all. It's too bitter. Welcome to another episode of Discovering Brewing Variables with the Moka Pot. In the previous episode, this is the fourth, so in the previous one, in the third, I achieved the sweet spot with the coffee that I was brewing. Today, we're gonna change coffee. In the previous videos, I was using a single origin Colombia medium roast. Here, I will use something different. First of all, it's a darker roast, and second, it's a blend. And in this blend, there is 80% of Arabica and 20% of Canephora or Robusta. So let's say that is a more or less a typical Italian blend. Okay, so we play with this coffee. I'm going to pick up where we left last time. So I'm going to use more or less the same variables. I already know that if I put a paper filter right now with that grind size and the ratio, the coffee is going to be too over extracted. So I'm going to keep the same grind size, the same ratio, the same way of brewing, but without placing the paper filter. Let's start to brew the coffee. First of all, let's have a look at the beans, because this is a parenthesis that I want to open. You can see the beans, and this is a dark roast. Probably for many of you, you see the beans and you think like, well, that is not dark enough. I understand, even here in Italy, you can see darker than this, but that doesn't mean that is a good quality dark roast. The most important thing for the bean to keep the quality and a good flavor is not get the oil of the coffee out. So if you see that your coffee is very dark and it's very shiny, that means that cells of the coffee broke and the oils and other components, they go outside, and that can increase oxidation. The beans can become rancid and stale very, very quickly. If you compare it with the previous one I was brewing, the medium roast, you can see the difference in between the two color of the coffee. What I can say is that this is a good quality dark roast. Close parenthesis, let's brew the coffee. All right, so I will do the same dose as the last time. I'm using a 3 cups Moka Pot, and they usually fit around 18 grams of coffee. With a dark roast, you can fit also 17 grams, because the dark roast is less dense than light roast, or medium roast, so it weighs less for the same volume. So if you put 18 grams, it might be a bit over, but we will see. We will adjust in the future if we need to adjust it. So 18 grams. Okay, put a bit more in case there is a bit of retention. All right. 18 grams, I'm going to grind it with a Time Morse Capture 78S at 5, like the last times. Let's give a double check with the weight. Okay, 18. We have 18 grams. Now I'm going to put the coffee in the basket, and as always, I'm helping myself with dosing ring and the WDD tool, because, as I say all the time, I said the last video, I will always repeat in every episode, this the fact that one of the most important things when you brew Moka Pot, as well as espresso, let's say, if you use espresso, is the distribution in the basket. That needs to be even. Even distribution is already halfway to a perfect cup of coffee. If you don't distribute the coffee well, you might end up with a cup that is not good. Put a bit of care, a bit of little effort on leveling the coffee very well in the basket, and you end up with a very nice, even distribution. This is very important. I will repeat it every single video. Now, water. Water, I'd say, okay, let's keep the same quantity of the last time, so 150 grams of water. All right, give me at least 150. All right, basket in, close the mocha, and let's start to brew the coffee. Timer in one hand, thermometer probe in the other. Let's start to brew the coffee. All right, I will keep the same, so I will keep now at 1200, then I'm going to reduce it to 800, then 600 as the coffee is coming out, and let's see what is going to be the first result with this new coffee, keeping more or less the same variables, okay? The same grind size, the same water, the same way of brewing, but just changing the coffee. So from a medium roast, we went to a dark roast. And let's see what is going to be the result in the cup. Now, again, I want to repeat this because it's very important. I'm brewing with an induction hob and with a 3-cup Moka Pot, but all the information that I share are good for any Moka Pots and also any stove. So if you're using a gas or electric, it's fine. But when I'm talking about variables, ratio, grind size, it's useful also for other Moka Pots and other stove, okay? Now let's wait for the coffee to come out. Okay, we are over 3 minutes and so far I don't see any movement. All right, we are at 4 minutes. I am expecting the coffee to come up at any second now. I smell the coffee, so I think it's brewing. In fact, that's it. Let's say 220, 225, 223. All right, now let's reduce the power to 800, temperature 55, 56, 57, 58. So we are in line with the previous ones, apart from the one when I put the AeroPress filter where it was coming very hot. So that's why I wanted to avoid this, because this is a dark roast, so we don't need that much power of extraction. Otherwise, it's going to be too bitter, because dark roast, it's more soluble, it's easier to extract, so we don't need much energy. And that's it, the coffee is done. Perfect. Let's stir the coffee. Okay, it's time to taste the coffee. Okay, the aroma is already strong. I can feel the cacao. It's like you put your nose in a bag of cacao powder, like the bitter one. Yeah, it smells like a dark chocolate. From the expression, you can already tell that is not balanced at all. It's too bitter. It's fine. It's fine. It's the first time. It's good. All right. Yeah, it's too bitter. All right. Coffee is too bitter. It's fine. That is good. That's what we want. We want to change. We want to correct it. We want to make it better. So it's fine, okay? I'm not disappointed in that. It happens when you try new coffee. This coffee, actually, okay, this coffee, the bag is open, and I use it only on espresso, and it's the first time actually brewing Moka Pot, so I didn't know what to expect 100%. I knew more or less that it was going to the bitter side, keeping the same variables of when I brewed with medium roast. I knew, but I didn't know how, not bad, how bitter could have been, all right? Now, put the sample in the refractometer to collect data. I want to understand the strength of the coffee, because then from that I can understand what to change as a variable. TDS of the coffee 4.48. That means we can get more intensity. The previous one, when we end up the sweet spot of the medium roast in the previous video, the TDS was 5.88%. I didn't remember, I just had to look at the notes. Now, that's not important. It's not that you need to reach that level, okay? That's not like a rule. You need to reach the 5.88. No. But this tells me that I can have more intensity as I like, very strong coffee, but also I need to reduce the extraction because it's too bitter. We need to change the coffee to water ratio, meaning that we need to reduce the amount of water. We need to reduce the amount of water in the boiler because more water we have, okay, compared to the amount of coffee we have, and more is going to be the extraction, okay? Less water we have, we will have a stronger coffee, so with a total dissolved solids percentage that it will be higher because the solids of the coffee are mostly extracted at the beginning of the brewing. When you see the coffee coming out, it is more like creamy, it's more smooth, the color is darker, that means that it has more solids. Towards the end, it starts to be lighter, faster, you know, losing the viscosity, the liquid, that means that we have less solids, okay? So we know that most of the compounds are extracted at the beginning, okay? So if I reduce the amount of water, I will have more intensity, so more solids percentage inside, not the solids quantity, okay, not the extraction. Talk about the percentage. So the intensity in that amount of liquid is going to have higher percentage of solids, okay? That doesn't mean that I have more solids, okay? I'm talking about the percentage in that amount of liquid. But if we reduce the water, also we will reduce the extraction because we want to extract the last bits of the coffee that in general give us more bitter compounds. So I need to reduce the end of brewing. Now, you can do it in two ways, or stop the brewing before, but that is something that will be difficult. I was doing that in the past. If you watch my videos like 2-3 years ago, I was doing that, try to get more consistent in that method, but I had to admit that it's very hard to keep consistency with that. So I prefer to put less water in the boiler, so I know that more than that I cannot extract. So let's clean everything, okay? I'm going to remake another mocha with less water and we will see how that change, okay? With the same coffee, same grind size, same way of brewing, okay? See you in 1 second. Clean, reset, let's make the second coffee. So we said we're going to change the ratio, but I'm not gonna change the amount of coffee in the basket. I will keep the same. I will just change the amount of water. 18. Okay, now water. I will put 120. So I'm going to put 30 grams less of water in the boiler. I don't know if this is too extreme, but we will brew and we will find out. 120 basket, close the mocha, and we are ready to go on the stove again. Something that I said in the previous video, and when I was cleaning, I actually said, oh, damn, I forgot to do it. It was to measure the yield, so the amount of beverage, to be more accurate with the data, to understand better the extraction, okay? I forgot, so it happens. Now I'm going to write a note, measure yield, put it here, so I won't forget. And let's go to brew the second coffee with less water in the boiler. Power up, 1200 watt, as we always do. Let's see if the coffee is coming out at the same time or even before, and then we will see the taste and we take some measurements, so we have data to keep it for the next time and try to see if the coffee tastes better. If not, so what I need to change then. We will see. Okay, we are at 3 minutes. No sign of coffee yet. And the coffee is coming. Let's say 3, 10, 20. So you see it came 1 minute earlier than the previous time. Temperature is also lower, so we're 50. Usually we start to 55, 56, 57, now it's 50. So we have less temperature and the coffee came earlier. So going to put 600. there is less water, so the coffee is going to finish earlier. Perfect. Okay, so we have our coffee. 4 minutes, we finished the brew. Previously it was like over 5 minutes. The coffee was coming out after 4 minutes. Here it came 1 minute earlier. And that's something that I knew more or less from other videos, other experiments that I did, and other time that I brew the coffee. What it means here? It means that temperature of water will be lower compared to when we put 150 grams in the boiler. I made a video in the past about level of water, dark roast, light roast, and my suggestion. I can link it here if you want to go to check. There is more data over there that I collected during the years. All right, so measure the yield. I'm not going to forget this because I'm putting everything here. I don't need to stir the coffee. The coffee is going to stir by itself. And we achieve 85, I can say 85 grams of yield. This number is going to be useful for the following videos and also like to calculate extraction. If I want to calculate it, I'm not getting there, okay? But it's good for me for references for the future. It's time to taste. Let's see the difference in taste in between this coffee and the previous one. The previous one was too bitter. Let's see if this is less bitter, is more balanced. I'm expecting to be, yes, less bitter and more intense, as I said before. Okay, get a similar aroma, chocolate, cacao, dark chocolate. Well, it's significantly better. It's good. There is a bit of bitterness, still feel a bit of bitterness, but that is normal. It's a dark roast, you cannot escape that. It's also kind of like, it's not a bitterness unpleasant, it's more like a quality, okay? If you say dark chocolate is bitter, but it's not bitter in an unpleasant, astringent way. It's a kind of like, it's a quality. Some people like it, some people don't like it. I like it, so I will say that it's a good cup. Can I make it better? Probably yes, but I think this we will discover in the next video. So far, I'm definitely happier than the previous one. Now, let's check the total dissolved solids, okay? The previous one was 488, and I said I wanted more strength, okay? And I will show you how placing less water in the boiler make us achieve a stronger coffee. Some of you might ask, oh, my coffee is a bit watery, I want it stronger, what do I need to do? Put less water. I mean, you can also grind finer. Yes, of course, we will see in the next videos if we need to grind finer or even coarser with this coffee. We need to make it balanced. That's my goal. And in fact, if I'm going to check the TDS, 5% of TDS. Honestly with you, I was expecting the TDS to be higher. Okay, just a quick update after I finished to record the video is that actually the TDS is not 5%, but is 5.20, 5.23, yeah, 5.20. Let's keep this as a reference, okay? Because I thought, yeah, it should be stronger, the coffee. In fact, it's stronger. Probably, yeah, I didn't check in the right way, but see, double checking 2-3 times and then you find the right data. So yeah, 5.20. All right, so that's the first step with this coffee. Make it better. The previous one was too bitter, so 150 grams of water was too much. Reduce the water, you reduce the bitterness, you reduce the harshness of the coffee. Of course, you will get less liquid inside the mocha. So if you say, but it's not enough coffee for me, all right? Just put some hot water, you make it more dilute, you increase the quantity, you reduce this strength, because if you like to brew a full mocha pot, that means that also you don't care about the strength, all right? Because it's very difficult to make a very strong, intense coffee when you brew like a full boiler. So just reduce the quantity in the boiler to balance this extraction. That will make the coffee stronger. You put a bit of hot water to dilute it a bit. You will have a longer beverage, but with still a good extraction. Just reducing the intensity. It might open up even the flavor. You might discover like new flavors of this coffee by reducing the strength. Then it depends. If you like stronger coffee, that's how we drink it. Short, intense, punchy, and that's it. Espresso style. What other variables I can change to make it even better? I'm not unhappy with the coffee, so it's actually tasty. Yeah, it's good. I can make it better. We will make it better in the next videos. So, and that was the topic of today. So, changing the coffee, you might need to change variables. Darker is the coffee, you need less water in the boiler. This will reduce the extraction, it will reduce also the temperature of the water where you're going to brew the coffee. It will help to reduce this harshy bitterness, astringency from the beans. You want to brew dark roast, you need to get the best out of it. So this is my suggestion, how to control when you are switching to dark roast, if you're brewing dark roast. Now it's your time to try, put less water in the boiler if you think that your coffee is a bit too astringent, or if you want to make stronger. See the results you get, and then, of course, comment on the section below so we engage and we see what we can do in the next one. Now, I will go to finish my coffee. I will see you in the next episode. Please like, subscribe if you didn't yet. Go to check the other video if it's the first time you see my video. Let's engage, let's take this journey together, okay? I wish you a wonderful day and delicious coffee. Ciao.